John.
Hey.
Of all the starting pitchers on your World Series roster, Kevin's been here the longest. How nice is it for him to have this opportunity to potentially close it out today?
Yeah, kind of fitting. Kev's been, since he's gotten here, he's kind of been our guy. Pitched in big games in years past, and this season, this postseason, you know what you're going to get. He's got a good way about him. He's about as cool and calm as you can find, kind of getting ready for a start. So it's nice. It's nice that it lined up this way.
And when you contrast this year to last year, what's been the biggest difference with Gausman?
Oh man, I think his delivery has been consistent. I think he had a normal spring training. His stuff has held. And I think that just all that goes back to his delivery being kind of on point throughout the year. Really, second half and postseason, it's been exactly where he wants it to be. And when he's got his good life to his heater, he's usually pretty good. And that's been really consistent all year.
We'll stay there with Ben.
Hey, John.
Hey.
Seeing George back atop the lineup, what went into him being back in there for you?
He was pretty close in Game 5. I think having the extra day and a half helped. I think kind of just the feedback we got from him in the last couple of days helped, and watching him swing. So maybe a different story if the season has the potential to just be 2 games. If it had the potential to be another 2 weeks, maybe a little bit different. But he's ready to go.
We'll stay there with Mitch.
John, I'm just wondering if you can remember what you were doing last year on Halloween.
Sitting at my neighbor's driveway, drinking a beer and giving out candy. So this is way, way better.
No costume?
No, I think Halloween's a made-up holiday anyway. I don't dress up. It's kind of like my least favorite holiday of the year. So if it's a chance to hang out in the neighborhood and have a couple cold ones and laugh at some costumes, I'm all for it. But I like this costume a lot better.
Right up front, Gregor.
John, Bo's obviously done everything he can to get back to this point, and he obviously has an important offseason for his career coming up. I'm just wondering what you think it says about his character that he fought so hard to get back, even though there's always the risk that could have set him back for something this offseason.
Yeah, man. I think that he kind of he gets overshadowed a little bit. Bo's been so good for us this year and his entire time here, really, and I'm happy for him to be on this stage. It was hard for him mentally and physically for a couple weeks, kind of down towards the end of the year, into the first couple rounds. I think his mental toughness really came through, and he's been such a he's grown up a lot this year. You know what I mean, in terms of what he wants to do, how he wants to do it, who he wants to be in the clubhouse. So I'm just thrilled for him that he was able to get back and, to be kind of on this stage and contributing the way he is.
The second row, Jeff, if we can get you the mic.
Yamamoto in Game 2 is outstanding. What can you take from that game into tonight?
I think that we've done a good job of adjusting against good pitchers when we see them again. He's tough, man. I said it after Game 2. It felt like he was almost like 3 different pitchers in the first, middle, and last part of that game. I think you have to watch how he's deploying, and see what his stuff is like, right? Every game is different for every starter based on their stuff and their location. So any mistakes that he does make, you have to be ready for him. And if he's throwing strikes, I think you got to try to force some action too and try to take advantage of the way we make contact. And we'll kind of see how the game starts. Hopefully we can stay on him early and not let him settle in like he did last time. I think our best chance to score was in the first inning last time against him. But I think that we have a good game plan going in. Again, you're talking about the best of the best when you get to this stage, when you're facing pitching. So he's a tough matchup. But I think we have a good game plan going in.
After Game 5, when you hit 2 home runs in the first 3 pitches, post-game, Blake Snell thought the Blue Jays were lucky. Do you share that opinion?
No.
We'll go to Mike in the 5th row in the left center.
I will say I think he's a great pitcher. You know what I mean? Like I said this yesterday. I don't want to wash over that. No, I thought we took good swings early on his fastball. And I think we led the league in batting average this year.
Go to Mike in the back.
Hello, John.
Hey, Mike.
Talking to a few of your players, there's sort of been an odd continuum of how they're feeling right now. Like Bo says he's felt emotions that he's never felt before in his life, and a lot of people have said playing in the World Series is living up to what they thought. But a few guys have said they don't feel like it's the World Series, and they've used the word surreal, and they can't believe it. Where do you sit on that spectrum? Is this like World Series living up to what you thought it was going to be? Can't quite believe this is what's going on?
Yeah, I'm trying to just take in the stuff that comes with the World Series, and every game's a little bit different. I think when the game starts, it gets back to some normalcy. In real time, you don't think about the things that are going to be said or written or remembered, when you're kind of in it. But this is the only place you this is why you sign up to do this, right? As a player, manager, so you have to enjoy it, but there always comes a time, a game or, a game 6 or a game whatever. It's you got to take a step back and appreciate it, but I think the more normal you can make it, the easier it is to go play. But I have found that kind of operating in real time, even if it was game 3, 18 innings, you don't really think about the magnitude of anything historical or, things like that in the moment. You're just trying to do what you do. But I'm trying to take it in as well.
And as far as Max goes, when we were in LA, Chris was up there saying that he wanted Max on this team because he thought you guys needed someone like him, not necessarily on the mound, someone who is going to question everything, who is going to, ask management, front office about every possible everything and really be a bug in your ear. How is that translated, and how much how much do you think that has helped?
Quite a bit, Again, it's not like one person coming in and changing anything. I think that we kind of did that collectively after last year. But Max, he's great because he's not afraid to question base running, question defense, question offense. He still thinks he's our best base runner on the team from his days with the Nationals. So he's not afraid to push the envelope. He's not afraid to be curious. He's not afraid to share things that he's been through that maybe I haven't been through. I already had my 20-minute sit down with him today, and he's been great. I think when you've been through things like this that not many people have, you can really offer some good advice and feedback. And I think that he's helped not just pitchers, but he's helped our players kind of have an edge about him throughout the entire year, even when he wasn't pitching, which says a lot about his character. So he's been great for us, more than just on the mound.
Fourth row on your left, Jason.
Hey, John. A year ago, their team won the World Series, and your team was coming off a last-place finish. Now you're up 3 games to do in the World Series. A year ago, did you think this was possible? And if you did, was part of it that baseball is amazing sometimes?
Yeah, I always have that positive outlook, you know what I mean? Sometimes to the point of frustration to myself, really, or people around me. I think you always have to say, yeah, that could be, the possibility. And baseball is great. It really is. It's crazy to think about regular season games that affected where we are, and every postseason game that has a twist and a turn. You never know. You know what I mean? You never know who's going to do what, or I hate matchups and predictions. You got to go play. You know what I mean? And I think that we've done a good job of understanding that as a team. So I guess to answer your question, yes, I thought it was a possibility, even when I was giving out candy 365 days ago. But yeah, man, it just makes you appreciate the game so much, and that timing is a part of it. Who's playing well when? I just love how in it and engaged all the guys are right now.
Tyler, stay there.
John, besides just having an optimistic nature like that, what was it about last year that you thought maybe that's an outlier and that's not who the real Blue Jays are, that you didn't need to make wholesale changes, that the front office didn't need to make wholesale changes to the roster? What fueled that belief, realistically, that you could bounce back the way you did?
What's up, Miggy?
I didn't know you were there.
I think I think just trusting people is kind of what it came down to. You know what I mean? I think that, last year there was some stuff that happened that we weren't expecting, whether it was health, luck, performance, things like that. I think being kind of convicted in what you do and how you do it, and then being able to take a step back and say we need to make some changes, whether it's myself, Ross, players, coaches, I think that started like in September when we were still playing, trying to like do it while guys were still here as opposed to the off season. So I think just trusting people and, for as positive as I am, I think Ross is the same way, it would be easy to kind of knee jerk react to last year. I don't think he did. I don't think I did. I don't think we did. And I'm thankful for that, and you trust people and you trust that what you're preparing for is right. Players have to go do it, and they've answered the bell. Me, I just really, when this spring training started, I tried to just really be myself. Again, not that I wasn't, but this job is hard, you know what I mean? And it takes reps and it takes messing some things up and having some success, But I think going into it, like truly authentically saying, hey, man, this is what we're doing. This is what we believe. And you guys got to trust me. I think that has helped. I think kind of like communicating that to the guys has helped. Never really felt more aligned with a whole organization, front office, coaches, and players than I have this year. So I just try to be consistent with that, and I think it kind of rubs off to the staff and the group too.
I'll do two last quick ones. Third row straight ahead.
Hi, John. Hi, John. Alejandro Kirk has been playing great the whole series, but are you aware what he did for the country of Mexico?
Recently? No, I'm not.
He's the first ever Mexican-born player to hit a home run in the World Series.
Oh, Kirky. He's got 3, doesn't he? Kirky, man, he's like one of my favorite people ever. You know what I mean? He's just so lovable, so likable, so consistent. I know he takes a lot of pride in that, and he's really close with his family and people back home. Couldn't happen to a better guy, to be honest with you. I've been so proud of his growth this year. Just kind of an unassuming guy that continues to deliver on the biggest stage.
We'll finish up quickly in the back, straight ahead.
John, I remember in spring training when we spoke and you talked about, David coming in and Lou helping out, and it seems like on the field it's been different offensively for the team. How much credit do you give those two guys, and how have they transformed the way you guys want to play offensively this year?
Yeah, I think it was something, again, going back to your question, I think I think we had the people here, right? And I think that we just had to tweak kind of the way we prepared or the way we communicated certain things to players. I give them a ton of credit. And Hunter Mentz, too. You know what I mean? Hunter had been here for a couple of years. So to kind of evolve a little bit with a new hitting group, was hard to do. And he's been instrumental just like they have. But their energy, their positivity, their content, their work ethic, I think has just been really, really clear from day one. And I'm talking day one, like when I hired those guys. Like they started flying the guys and talking to them, and they were prepared to give them feedback, So it was cool that the timing of it was what it was. I think that the guys that have been here, George, Bo, Vlad, Kirky, Varsh, they were ready for a little bit more. And Pop and Lou and Hunter were able to offer that for them.
All right, John, breaking news, Miguel Rojas is here, so
all right, let's bring him
let
in.
you go.
Thanks, guys.